All right, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is King of Cards Tarot Readings. Today, we have a general collective message. Now, if you've been watching me for the past week, you'll know I try to look for the positive in every reading. And honestly, in this reading, it's not hard to see the positive. So I'm pretty excited to share it with you, see how the collective responds, and yeah, try to offer some clarity and advice. So I guess first I want to say that I don't look at the symbolic aspect of tarot the way some readers do. I think and believe that symbol reading is its own form of divination, and it's valid, perfectly valid. However, in my case, I'm not a symbol reader. I'm not an interpreter of signs. My divination technique is to treat the cards as functional, pragmatic, uh, IDing codes and channels of information. And there's plenty of symbolic data that flows through those channels, definitely. So, I mean, a lot of the readers I admire are very symbolic in their readings. But that's not what King of Cards is about. Yeah, I just wanted to clarify that. So, lately I've been trying to give you guys sort of a snapshot flash reading, what I saw when I first put the cards down. And basically, what I'm getting from this is keep doing what you're doing. Don't look for dirty secrets. Don't peek behind the veil. And don't worry about the past. Like what you're doing contributes so heavily to so many uh, uh, sorry contributes to so many different avenues what you're doing does that just your existence is helping everybody, your friends, your family, your foes. Everybody is eating off of you, so don't worry about the haters or the people who have advice for you or the people who want you to do something different. They're all getting what they need because of you. So keep doing you. Okay, so into the reading. For our main issue, we have the Nine of Wands, called Strength in this deck. Um, yeah, 9, we're nearing full manifestation. 9 is a very powerful place. It's just off balance. Uh, that instability is its sort of driving edge, the forward push, and Wands is fire, which is action, activity. So again, what you're doing is so integral, even if it seems like you're not doing a lot. Because sometimes, and for some of you in the collective, I'm getting, you might not be doing much of anything. There's a few of you who are actually feeling like you're fucking up, like you're a problem. But what I'll tell you is that problem you think you are is still feeding someone. You just have to check in with your own motivations behind your action. So, if your action is problematic for you, then yeah, adjust. Find the thing that works for you. But if you feel like a problem just because external is imposing, don't worry, you're fine. You're doing great. Like, even if you are, I'm getting that some of you may have like enforcement put upon you where you've transgressed some sort of, I can't think of the word right now, but some barrier, some rule, some law, something like that, a regulation. And so you're maybe in trouble or receiving corrective action. That's fine. That's not out of balance. Don't worry, for those of you that resonates with. For everybody else, just yeah, what you're doing is good. And that doesn't mean everything you do is justified. That's not what I'm saying. This isn't a pass to be mean or rude to people. That will come up in its own way. However, even those of you who, like, I wouldn't get along with, we would butt heads. But regardless, you're still doing something that allows me to do what I'm doing. And that's the part of your placement I'm trying to hold space for. And most of you are just rocking, finding a place to fit in and doing your work from there. And that's a beautiful thing. And that's what this strength card is giving me. It's like you found the place where you fit. And so it nobody's even trying to get into your position. And if they were, you would find a position to be in. That's good. Okay. So, we have this card opposed on the right hand side by the moon. For me, the moon is representative of like short term goals, um, like admiration, people in your life who you not necessarily aspire to, but you see them and you're like, thank you for doing you. You look up to them, you respect them. I see a lot of that in this card in reference to strength. But then also in reference to my flash reading, the moon can represent the visible aspect of the mystery, and so the hidden is often brought into readings of this card. But what I'm saying is don't look at the hidden, look at what's shown. So if someone's talking shit about you behind your back, but to your face they're cool, that's a good person for you in your life. It's fine. They're not messing up anything for you, talking about you behind your back. They're just venting and using you as a representation for that. Nobody's changing their opinion about your character based on that secret behavior. So don't worry. In fact, be more are grateful of the person who's cool to you right now, but talks shit about you behind your back, hold that person tighter than the person who like really respects you, but when they're in your face, it's nothing but drama and aggravation. You don't need that person in your life right now. Like at all. Yeah, that person, I'm not getting that person from this reading, but in what I'm reflecting on in the moon, I'm seeing there are these other dynamics present for some of you, for all of us probably. This beautiful collective. um, so yeah, don't look for the secrets. Don't don't take the thing apart if it doesn't need to be fixed. Don't dismantle the housing, the shielding, the protective casing. It's there in case something happens. And until then, you don't need to look behind it. If the thing's not working, it's a different issue, and that's probably part of your strength order to fix broken things. And then you gotta look for what's broken, but that's not what this reading is giving me. Yeah, on the left side, our past tense, our um, influence working against your main issue, we have adjustment in reverse. And so this makes me think that something has changed for you recently. Obviously, change is always happening, but whatever. Strength is finding a way to not keep things from changing, but to work with change to balance to the current configuration situation. So, yeah, adjustment in reverse is giving me like something shifted you didn't want to shift. And because of that, you've restructured like what your days look like, what your focus is. For some of you, maybe where you are. Um, yeah, and I'm seeing that whatever you've switched out of, it's not holding you back, but there's a stickiness to it. It's clinging to you a little bit. It's still present in your mind and decision making process, but it doesn't need to be. That's where I'm seeing the moon. There's something that feels like, oh, it's kind of fake or surface level, you know? Sorry. Maybe new people who you haven't developed a relationship with yet. And you don't know if it's worth investing in them because you look back at this past situation and you invested a lot in it. But it's changed now. And so, what this is giving me is pull your strength back away from this past tense situation, maybe person. I'm starting to see these as people or groups of people or a social class or order, or for some of you, I'm getting like it's like a racial or ethnic group. So, like, maybe you're first generation, second generation, and you kind of had been hanging out, talking, dating only within that group of people of a similar country of origin, and now you're finding yourself around people who don't share that same cultural history, and so they can't go quite as deep onto these references with you. But I'm getting that There's a reason why you've been brought into, and I don't mean this cosmic forward pointing reason. I mean, something happened. Something was going on in the past that's not a secret. Like, you know what it is, they know what it is, and you're not there anymore. Or your relationship to the group has changed or shifted. Like, maybe you moved out of a house, could be a family house, could be a group house, or like a friend group house. But I'm getting that you're all of the same country of origin. Maybe some of you are cousins. Maybe it's like three groups of cousins all together, like three different families, but with the same country of origin. That's feeling really powerful to me. And so the moon, maybe you're just hanging out with another group of people, but even that is going to be harkening back to the past. So, like, let's say you are Eritrean and you've been hanging out with Eritreans, and that's like who your social group was. If you now suddenly find that you're hanging out with like a whole bunch of Koreans, like first, second generation, who still have family in their home country, but they're all a cohesive unit, to me, that is still looking back at this past thing. It's like maybe filling in and being new. But what I'm saying is there someone in that group who's worth your time that you admire? That's the moon. That's the person you look up to or respect. Same thing about your past situation. Is there maybe one person from that house who you respect, who you look up to, who you can actually vibe with? That's the moon. That's worth talking to. But even outside of those connections, there's something new in your life that's not a big deal and not what you should focus on as your focus, but that you should let guide you and aid you rather than like relying on that old network. Yeah, that's what I'm seeing from this interface of three cards. Hmm. Yeah, where you're at is good. You have some distance here. Like, you have some going power. So, like, get comfortable with this new situation. And don't lean as heavy on the future group of, like, don't even lean on the group, but like the people you'll meet who can vibe with you. Don't lean on them the same way you did with the past, because that's part of what the problem was. You had become enmeshed with the group, with the family, with the network, and you lost your identity. So interact with people who are willing to stand out from their group and be a person, be a sovereign. Don't just subscribe and become a member of the group. That's not for you anymore, and it never was, and that's why you got rejected or pushed out or isolated. Yeah, nice. That's cool. That's good stuff. So, let's see here. Covered a lot of ground. The deck top card to mirror this whole relationship is Three of Wands, which is called Virtue in the Thoth deck. So, for me, Virtue has a lot to do with actions we take for the benefit of others. Um, and they can be good or bad or neutral or whatever. But the idea is that these activities are seen, are visible. Um, yeah, like one negative example would be like posting to social media in hopes of people seeing something that make them feel some kind of way, whatever that means to you. Not just from the place of sharing the information, but trying to get a response. Another element of this would be using your turn signal to let other people know what you're about to do. It's an action that is, yes, performed for the self, for the long form reasons of self, but in the short term is performed to be seen by others. It's like a wet floor caution sign. It's not an action, but putting the sign out is an action. I think this card, yeah, it's saying like little things that you do for this individual will be seen by the group. So, like, let's say your one of your old housemates, the one person who you can chill with, who doesn't they don't talk about the group to you. Like when you see them, if you ask about the group, they'll tell you obviously, but when you see them, they're trying to see you. They're not trying to like bring the group forward. They're not speaking on behalf of the group or other members. Like if it was their birthday or something like that is coming up and you got them a card, even something simple like that, no gift or money inside, just like happy birthday, hope it went well. Like that's something that ripples through the network. That's maybe not a great example. In reference to this reading, sorry, I get so yawny when I do these readings because I'll be like not talking for a while, and then I'm like talking and gotta remember to breathe. And if I don't breathe enough, then my body says, hey, guess what? Time to yawn. Alright, I guess there's not a lot more to say about this. Stay in your lane. Do what you do. Don't go back to the group that you were invested in. Find the people who are positive to you, to your face. Don't worry about what's happening behind the surface. And yeah, act as though your actions inform other people's actions, you know? Like it's not about judgment. It's about creating the visibility of good practice. So, like, let's say putting your can in the recycling bin rather than the trash can, you know? And if you see people like throwing their recycling in the trash can, it's not like, hey, you did the wrong thing, but like, don't you pick up that bad habit. Like, do the thing the way it's supposed to be done so people see, like, this is the way it's supposed to be done. Or what else? What else? Yeah, just let your action be your leadership, and also let your distance from the group mind identify you as a leader, and interact with the people who you admire. Show them that you admire them, and that you admire them for their strength, for their doing what they do and not falling into pack mentality. And by doing these things, like, you will be a leader. You will lead the people around you to be more like you, and to really to aid what you're doing, and to be aided by what you're doing. Yeah, I guess this wasn't a very long reading. It's a really good one. Don't have to unpack it too much. I guess the only thing is that, like I said earlier, what I'm getting in the hidden space, like moving behind the cards, is there is this person who you should be aware of and watch out for. This person who, like, they love you and they care for you and they want what's best for you, but they don't know how to do that. So when they're in your space, they just make everything miserable. They say they do it out of this, like, desire for maybe family or culture, or maybe as a relationship, and like their reasons are valid enough, but you can just see that it's like they're not working for supporting your strength or following your lead. They are really confusing the whole system. So yeah, watch out for that. But that's not really indicated by the cards themselves. That's more, it's what I'm getting through the moon and through the adjustment in reverse, as what you've come out of and what you don't want to fall back into. So stand in your power. Don't stand against what is resisting you. Let it resist you, and you can even let it push you around a little bit. Be moved by it, but just return to your position. After it pushes you out, move back in. And if it, like, blocks you, just go do something else. Whatever you do will succeed right now. Even your mistakes are in service to the greater unit of the whole. But really, it's those individuals you admire who deserve your time, your attention, and your words, not the people who are at odds with you or disagree with you. If someone's arguing with you, walk away and go congratulate someone who you respect on their achievement. By doing that, you feed them, you support them, you let everyone else see that they have your support, and you show by example to those people who are drama and conflict oriented how much can be accomplished through a simple compliment, simply through identifying who is doing a good job and letting them know, is much more powerful for the group than pointing out when someone's doing something wrong. And so, yeah, I'll leave it at that. I don't even want to focus on the conflict. I want to just focus on you. So I want to tell you, collective, my beautiful collective, I'm so proud of you and everything you're doing. Thank you. You allow me to be me. You do what I could never do, and just being you is a gift to all the rest of us. So, yeah, this has been a King of Cards general collective reading. I have said it before, and I will say it again. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe and hit that notification bell so when a new message comes up, you can check it out right away. And you already know these videos are timeless, so if if one of the titles jumps out to you when you're looking through it, give it a listen. New stuff is going to come through for you. And yeah, you're all wonderful. I'll see you soon.